Okay, it's 7 o'clock. We can go ahead and get started then. All right. Well, welcome everyone. I hope you're going to like our new format. Maybe it'll be more of an in-person meeting, although we can't all be in person because we're all over the place. So, it's funny, Bobby and I were lucky enough last week to get together with some local distributors. And we realized that we kind of need to, totally our fault, to nail down your approach. I think we've kind of thrown a lot at you. There's a lot of scripts, a lot of different things you can do. But I really think we need to go ahead and just nail down this process a little bit. So that's what we're going to talk about. And I like the interactive format so that you can please ask questions, because if you have the question, probably everybody does. Now, I want to put one caveat to that. If you can Google it first. We have a saying, GTS, Google that, you get it,
SHIT.
So,
GTS.
Yeah, GTS.
In other words, don't waste somebody's time
Yes.
when you can Google it. Okay,
Yeah.
just don't do that. And that comes from a very high-paid coach.
Yeah. So, and it's probably easier a lot of times because we all have different devices in different ways. Once you start to get into some different things, people are doing things all in different ways. So it's probably easier. And I always like it because when I Google something, I see the little video, and to me, it's easier than if I try to tell you, go to the hamburger on Facebook and then go into groups and look for that. That gets a little hard at times. So, so do you want to do some announcements, Bobby, and then we'll go ahead and get started with our topic?
Oh, I mean, I don't have a lot to announce. We have our next Zoom on the 25th. So that's still like 2 weeks out. Mm-hmm. The Lemonade Axio is back. Okay, so I don't know if it's in the cart yet or to be there in the morning. Okay. I saw an email. People have been having it all over stories and Instagram and stuff. Yeah. So I do know it's not back permanently. It's an LTO limited time offer, but it's back and just in time for the summer. And you'll see everybody's promoting it to mix it with the strawberry. That's the combo. And it's funny because that's what I naturally drink is a combination of lemonade and strawberry. So but is there anything else, April, you can think of?
No, 25th Axio. This Saturday is LVA.
Oh, and right. This Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. So
so you got your LVAs in 6 different cities. And of course, if you're not close to one of them, you got the virtual option. The one thing we always like to say is if you're doing it virtual, don't do it alone. Have some friends and family, prospects, guests, have somebody sitting there with you, watching it with you. I mean, there's no reason to ever do it alone. And, it's funny. One of the things April and I talked about when every weekend we're at the beach now, unless it's an LVA, and we work from the beach. We play from the beach. We barbecue at the beach. We just, that's our playground. And it's a great opportunity for us. We always meet 1, 2, 3, 4 different new people, that become prospects. So it's our playground for prospecting. And one of the things we talked about is we're going to encourage some of the local distributors to join us, but bring a friend. Like, it's not that we don't want to hang out with them themselves. That's fine, but if we're going to do it, bring a friend. Who the heck doesn't want to hang out at the beach, and if you're going to do it, bring a friend. And the LVA is the same thing, how do you not get sucked into that if they just start listening to it with you? They'll get sucked into it. So, well, go ahead, April. I know you got a lot you want to talk about. And
so, when we say bring a friend, it's not for us to be more recruiting. People like to do things where they're having fun and over food. The conversation always gets easier. Even if I'm on Facebook and I meet somebody locally, I always go say, and I don't even drink coffee, but let's go grab a cup of coffee or let's go get a bite to eat or something because, socially it just works better. But
no, and I didn't mean to insinuate that because what I meant is if you bring a friend and they have a good time, they're more likely to ask, what do those people do? or what do you do, or how do you know them? How, in our case, a lot, we can't go anywhere without people asking us, where did you get that Jeep? I didn't know they made a biohacker model, so it's, there's a lot of bait out there, but no, it's so people have an opportunity. I don't know I see Jennifer's on here. I think Simone is on here too. What could be better? Okay. And I don't know if Jackie's here. She's another local one, but if they brought a friend and got to meet us while we were having, while we were playing on the beach or roasting weenies or having, just having some fun. And they say, how do you know them? Well, Jackie'd say, I met them through church. Jennifer'd say, I met them through business. Simone could say, I met her on Facebook. There's a lot of, it's a great icebreaker, and that's why whenever you can get out socially with people, you're giving them a chance to ask you instead of us always approaching them. You're flipping it and giving them a chance to get inquisitive. Okay.
So I want to talk about recruiting today, and I kind of want to nail it down and just tell you what I'm doing. The approaches that we've talked, whether it be going through your phone contacts, whether you're meeting somebody in person, or whether you're recruiting them on Facebook. And I've showed you 2 different ways now to recruit. So, it doesn't really matter, but once you get into the conversation, and you can all have your own opinion, we are all in our own business, but I'm going to tell you to use the launch videos that we've been using, and not because Bobby and I have done it, and use the whole thing. I can't tell you how many people I've had, and I always use this disclaimer with them. I want you to see this. You only need to look at the first 10 to 12 minutes. I'm taking it away from them. If you look at all my messages in Facebook, if you look at whenever I talk to people, I always kind of put it out there and I take it away. But you do want the opportunity in the second half by chance. Now, you've already told them they don't have to look at it. They don't even know what the second half is. But if you've got curiosity going with these cutting edge, really special products that nobody knows about, and you start to go into a conversation about a business, why would you take that away from somebody? I can tell you, I've gone to sit down with people, for sure thought they were just going to buy the product, and they started in the business with me. They wanted to distribute a package. So don't take that away. You can just justify, if you're talking product and that's your approach, just say you only need to look at the first 10 to 12 minutes. And I say that for the reason that, one, if somebody sees a 30-minute video, they're not going to watch it. If somebody ever sent me a 30-minute video, it's not going to happen. It just, nobody has that much time. But if you tell them just to take 10, 12 minutes, and I always say, once it starts, you'll know if this is for you or not. Because if you see, we don't do this long intro, I try to get right into the meat of it, because people don't care anymore. Unlike when Bobby and I got involved in the business, they don't care about our why. They don't even really want to hear our story. So unless we're at a big event or something where it's already people that are involved, I'm not telling my story. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with you. So just like that new way that we're doing business, where we're going into a group, picking any group we want, pretending that we are the owner of that group, just welcoming them to the group. We never said we were the owner. We're welcoming them to the group, asking them why they joined the group, and we're getting into having a conversation with them that much faster. Even when we do the 333, we talk about whatever they want on day 2. It's not like we're doing this fact-finding mission to find out exactly what they need or want. We're just having conversations with people so that we can offer something that they may want. This has to be quick. This is not, you shouldn't be spending a lot of time with anybody. This is more of a numbers game these days. People are very quick. So the whole thing is, you have a conversation with somebody. You either, if you're doing the groups, find out what their need or want is, send them the video. Everything is send the video. You should never, ever be explaining oxidative stress or products. The only, and you've heard me, and if you look at my TikToks these days, everything is about energy, wrinkles, gray hair, brain fog. Nothing is scientific. People just, they can't absorb all that. So you've got to let somebody else, you've got to do the hook. The hook is, do you have brain fog like me? You know, do you worry about gray hair like me? Do you worry about wrinkles or getting old or whatever it is? That's the connection. Let the video do the work.
Hold on one second. You got to look at her TikTok. You know, April doesn't have a gray hair on her head. Okay. I never thought about why. Okay. Honestly, I just never thought about it. And then she mentioned something about catalase and how the gray hair comes because the catalase goes away. And when you're taking Protandim, it's increasing catalase and the benefit is the gray hair goes away. Okay. So she did a TikTok just a couple days ago and thousands of people have already watched it and they're already asking, how do I buy or what do I buy? No science whatsoever. She did mention catalase quick. It's like, it's mentioned one time, but all they want to know is how do I get rid of the damn gray hair? Okay, that was the only thing. And then a few of them were bragging that they like their gray hair. Okay, you're always going to get that on TikTok. You're going to get the other side of it. Okay, but it wasn't to pick on gray hair. It was to get a conversation going about why a 62-year-old doesn't have any, you know, and, you know, it's amazing. I'm telling you, if you'll keep it short and simple and just get right to the point. April? Ken, we're going to do questions at the end. If you can just hold it or jot it down, that'd be helpful. Thanks.
Okay. So I want you to write this next thing down. This is going to be key. If we're out and let's say we're all at a restaurant or you're on the beach or you're just playing tennis or whatever you're doing. If somebody says to you, and think about this mentally, what do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? If you start saying, I'm a distributor for LifeVantage or I rep oxidative stress or any of that stuff, you know, my big word is nutraceuticals. So I just say I'm a rep for a nutraceutical company, but I make you feel like you did when you were much younger with extra energy, focus, and concentration. Got right into benefits, feeling like you were when you were younger, energy, focus, and concentration. That gives me something that I understand that I can say, how do I get more energy? Or my brain focus is terrible. And you know what? I think because we've all been on these products for so long, we don't have those symptoms. But you get out in a group of women and it's like, everybody's got brain fog. Everybody, you know, you know, even the Icy Bright, I did something for our church on Sunday. Do you know you can spin Icy Bright into metabolism by being in front of the blue light? That slows down our metabolism. And so that cuts, you know, that increases that fat around the middle. I mean, there's so many ways we can spin our products without getting into scientific terms that when you're talking to somebody, you know, you have to talk about whatever they want to talk about as far as, you know, what benefits they're looking for or whatever. So, but I really want you all to have a link in your notes or like Bobby texts us himself with that launch video. And like I said, send it out to them first 10 to 12 minutes. You'll find that things are a lot easier. You know, if you start using words, and I know this is what happens to me, if somebody uses words that I don't understand, then I go to Google. I don't even go to Google Scholar, or you think like just go to Google. And then up comes all this stuff that we don't want. We don't want to deal with. We don't want to get into, like Noelle and Jaya, they can handle it. You know, Allie, you know, some of you can handle stuff, but you know, like I don't have any business being in the medical arena. It just would never be real to somebody. So, you know, why would I try to put somebody on Google where they have all this stuff coming up? And you know, Google, some of it's true, some of it's not. Why do I want to force somebody's hand to go there, where if I keep them where I want, I don't open the door for all these questions? That's why I say all of these, whether we're doing the 333, quick, we get into Facebook groups, quick, you know, this isn't meant to be a long thing. I have some people that I've been helping in some other lines, and we get into really long conversations about stuff that just opens doors that, and then the ultimate is the person says, I can't do this. And they're not going to tell you that because nobody wants to feel dumb. They're just not going to. They're just going to make every excuse. They're going to say, I don't have money. And now you're going down a whole path that has nothing to do with money. But they don't want to tell you that they don't feel like they can't do it, that they're intimidated by how smart you are. So the simpler you keep it, the easier you're going to have a time with. And I hope that helps. Does that kind of make sense to you? Maybe you can all just try and use that one launch video.
Well, yeah, let me elaborate a hair on that. We have not used ABC Primetime. I can't even remember the last time I sent it to somebody. Okay, I can't even remember when it was. It's 17 years old, folks. Okay, it is so freaking antiquated. Okay, it's now that doesn't mean it don't have value. It just means you can't start with it. Okay, so here's what I do. I'm using same, obviously, the launch video that April's talking about. And if I've gone back and forth, I'll send the ABC Primetime video as a second and say, hey, you may remember the ABC Primetime on TV. Here's how it all started for us. This is how it all started. Well, I already got them in the modern. They saw a launch Zoom, video from last week. Okay, so they're modern. Now I'm showing them where it came from. And then the other thing that I'll use, and again, this is a secondary thing, is Carrie Dickey's video, okay, on the business. So, but the launch video is what you should start with. I mean, and I love April's takeaway. So many people are I'm comfortable talking money first, okay? I have no issue with that whatsoever. But so many people are comfortable with product first. They want to talk product first. The launch is perfect. I mean, April does a great freaking job for 10, 12 minutes with the product. And how many of them, if they're intrigued with the product, are going to click off and not hear a little more about the company or the business? See, you kind of get them sucked in, where if you start with the ABC Primetime, now you're explaining what the heck, why are you showing them something 17 years old? It's just kind of hard to cover that up anymore, okay? So it's still very credible, but as a secondary source, not where to get started. So the other thing, if you were with us in the old company, we sold very big packages. They were very high commissions. It didn't matter if you spent a few hours with a person or you wined them and dined them or you had them fly into Dallas or whatever. It didn't matter because your commission was thousands of dollars. Sometimes it could be tens of thousands. So a lot of time, but it was a big package. Now we're talking about $100 on a Tri-Synergizer, okay? You got to run the numbers on that. This is a lot of people sending the right information and do it quick, okay? Do it quick. And, I don't want to mention names, but, April got a call the other day and the person's not on here now. So it's somebody else, but she listened and listened and listened and said everything necessary to undo a sale that had already been made. Like the person had already said, I'll buy, like I want to use it, and just didn't shut up. Just like wouldn't shut up long enough for her to put the freaking credit card in the machine and buy it, just kept going. And where there will be, if they're buying a product from you, that's a win. There will be another opportunity to speak to them. We have a new trainer in the business and he just got his 10th sale today. He's been in for about 15 days. He got his 10th customer. It's all warm market. And it was funny because April and I, when he first got involved, he didn't have much to say to us. Okay. He just didn't have, he's a black belt in, I don't know, 6 different karates or whatever. He's got kids in collegiate sports. He owns a personal fitness studio. Obviously, he's got a great warm market there, but he didn't have much to say to us. And we backed off And every time we got a couple customers, we just said, hey, nice job. And now when we reach out, he wants to talk because he wants to know, all right, what's next? Am I getting close? You know, you said you'd be looking over my shoulder. And I just had a conversation with him now. I said, hey, we still got half a month to go. I said, you're already a Pro 1 in the business. Okay. And he started with a Premier Pack. Okay. And I said, we need to get a couple distributors in by the end of the month, because we're going to want to be able to put your customers somewhere so you get a higher commission next month. And he said, okay, what do I do? And I said, well, the customers that you got, they just got to log in and they'll see where it says upgrade to distributor, and they just follow the instructions. He said, do they just buy more? And I'm sharing this with you, so when it happens to you, you know what to say. He said, do I just tell them to buy more product? I said, no, you tell them to pick one of the packages. And I said, the reason for that is we're looking to duplicate packages. We're not looking to complicate why maybe this lady chose to buy hair care and this guy chose to get fat burn, and somebody else wanted Tri-Synergizer and somebody else wanted Axio, because they were picking and choosing. You can't duplicate that. Okay. So we said, he says, okay, I get it. And, you know, so you got to keep it simple. There will be another opportunity to get him in the business. Okay. But it was funny. I learned a lot from this guy in the last 2 weeks. I learned to shut up. I learned to reach out, acknowledge good behavior. Okay. And then just leave him alone. And then he reached out back, and, you know, it was very, very eye-opening to be reminded that the right people can't do it wrong. The right people just go do it. And when they need something, they'll reach out. So, April?
So again, you know, we're talking about people we either know personally through Facebook, and you know the scripts, we've used them, the secret, if you want to get them on the video. Always, if it's personal, you know them, compliment them is how you start with it. You know, you send them a message, say, you know, I always thought you were amazing. I've got something I'd like to run past you. Words that work effectively are you open? If I said, are you open? Are you going to say no? Everybody says yes. So there's little phrases that if you just weave in your small conversations, you get what you want. And ultimately, all we want is to get that video out there. That's all we want. We want them to see the video. If they do it, fine. If they don't do it, fine. It's no reflection on you. It's just a matter of getting the video out there. The right person will say, yes, that's me. I want those benefits. The wrong person, you can talk them into it. It's going to take a lot more time, but you're going to have to talk them into it every day, and it's going to become
You're going to have to resell them every day. If you need to talk them into it, you're going to be reselling them every day to just keep working instead of them going and doing what they should be. The other thing, and we don't talk about this a lot, but you have to understand, let's say you got 1,000 people in your phone. It doesn't matter who does it and who doesn't when you first approach them. What matters is you need to let them know what you're up to. It's like an announcement. It's like a birth announcement, okay? It's like the people putting the yard signs out there for their kids graduating high school. If you don't let those people know what you're doing, how are they going to know what you're doing? So it's not necessarily, did you get them the first time you talked to them? Did you make them aware that you're in an anti-aging business, a wellness business, a network marketing business? You started a work from home business. That is the real value of reaching out, is you got to let them know what you're doing. Otherwise, they'll never know what you're doing, and they could end up in an Amway, an Herbalife, or one of our competitors. I mean, and we don't talk about that a lot, but that's the biggest value, is if you let them know what you're up to, they may just reach out to you in the future when their need is there. Okay, maybe you approach them and they don't have a need or a want at that moment, but you let them know what you're doing. And maybe a few months from now that changes. And because you let them know what you're doing, they reach out to you. But what are the odds of them reaching out to you if you never let them know what you were doing. See, that's up to us. So April, you want to open it up, or you got anything else you want to say?
Yeah, let's open it up so we don't go too long, and we'll just continue.
Obviously, with people asking questions, this is going to go more than 20 minutes. So, you know, just keep that in mind in the future. And we've left plenty of time for you. So feel free. Go ahead.
Ken, I think you were first. So.
Yeah, Ken, you had your hand raised.
You're muted.
You got to unmute though, Ken. Everybody can unmute now.
Mine was just a silly question because Bob was saying that April doesn't have a gray hair on her head. Bob has any gray hair on his head? He's been taking the product.
You know, it's funny. I'm just thankful I still have some hair. I have two brothers considerably younger than me that look like bowling balls. So I'm just thankful that I still have some hair on my head.
Looking good, Bob.
Lynn,
so questions, anybody, please do not waste the opportunity to ask a question, because if you're thinking it, so's everybody else.
So would it be a good idea on Facebook, our personal information, put like a nutraceutical rep? And doesn't that blast out when you change that information?
Yeah, I don't know that it's necessary there. I'm talking about the person that you meet just randomly. You know, you could be at a cocktail party or something and somebody say, hey, what do you do?
Yeah.
And I found most people just freeze and they start fumbling and they're like, they don't want to say they're a rep. They don't want to say they're in network marketing. They don't want to say multi-level marketing. So they don't know what to say. So they look really, really silly because they're not prepared to say anything. Mm-hmm. Okay. So all I'm saying, you don't have to use my line. I say, keep it simple. But, you know, and you don't even have to use the word nutraceutical. You could just say, I'm a rep for a company that helps people feel like they did when they were years younger, extra energy, focus, and concentration.
Okay.
Yeah, you could say I'm a rep for an anti-aging company. That'd probably get the next question out of them. You know, I like to say I do multi-level marketing, or I'm in network marketing. I like to say it. I'm looking for the shock factor. I want to see the look in their face, because my next question is, do you know what that is? Or have you ever been involved with one? Okay. If you say network marketing, sometimes they think you're a computer person. You're doing networking. So sometimes they think that. That's why I'm more likely to say multi-level marketing, because if they know what that is, they know that's not computer stuff. But that's me. Okay. I'm looking to get that response out of them, and I'm very comfortable saying that. But you whatever it is, whether it's, you know, nutrigenomics, whether it's, you know, watch the word wellness. It's very vague. If you're going to say something, do like anti-aging rep or do something, or say nutrigenomics, where you know for sure they have never heard that word before. Like they don't have a clue what that is. And then you can elaborate like April does, but it's got to come right out of your mouth. I mean, you just can't look like a goofball fumbling around, you know, when someone says, what do you do? Okay. And
Suma, I hope I don't put you on the spot. With all the networking you do you tell them what you do, or?
Yes, I do. I usually say I'm an alternative wellness consultant.
Okay. And then what do they come back and say?
Oh, that's cool. You know, so many people, alternative wellness is really big now. And then if I see their faces, then I can go into, remember when you were 20 years old? And they say, yes, that's what I do.
Okay.
See, that line, Zuma, encourages people to ask additional questions. And that's what we're looking for. We never want to make a statement. We want to say something that encourages them to come back to us with another question. Okay. And, you know, like you've heard April say a million times, if she's posting something, at the end of it, it'll say, what about you? Okay. Or how about you? Or something like that. So you're not making like a final statement. You're leaving the door open for them to respond back to you. And when you say that about what you do, when you say it in an intriguing way, most of the time they come back and they say, and when I'm looking for the confusion on their face, and that's when I say to them, are you familiar with that? Okay. And I'll tell you, the first word I use, I'll always say, no, it's kind of like one of those Amway things, but only we have anti-aging nutritional products. And then I wait again, you know, to see what comes up next. Okay. But I'm not saying do what I do. I'm saying you got to do something like that gets them to come back to you with something else, where when you tell them what you do, that's not the end of the conversation, you know. And so be careful not to talk about too much about your other thing or your prior life unless they really start digging deep, because we don't have the time that April said it before. People in today's world, it's all about me. See, we came from a generation where you took care of others, okay? And it was always about others. And in this business, it should always be about doing right by others, but we're dealing with people that don't really want to hear about us. They just want to know what we can do for them. So keep that in mind. It's a different world than the one that we started with 30 years ago, that's for sure.
Did anybody else have a question or?
Jaya?
You know, April, Facebook, you know, I was following company Facebook model they had put. I put that, didn't have much attraction from anybody. And whenever I put personal thing, the big plus point for that. But anything else I put it, not many people are interested. This is something very weird. So now the main thing is, I want to know, is it very important to do Instagram and TikTok? I'm not the one to do those things.
No, Jaya, you're missing the point. People are getting, the reason we do the 333, where we introduce ourselves, we warm them up, we talk to them day 2, day 3, we rip off, because we've created rapport. We didn't even talk about the company. If we're friends and I say, just meet me at the corner, you don't say like, why, what time, how long do you need me? We're friends now. We're friends on Facebook. So I say, if I sent you a video, would you watch it? Sure, we're friends. That's why we get that answer, sure. We've created the rapport. It has nothing to do with any business posting you do. Nobody gets any type.
I was going to say, nobody gets any response to that.
The only reason we put a business
that's what I wanted to know.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to know.
You're no different than anybody else.
I was more worried about, I don't find much response there. What will I do? I do.
Yeah.
That I have.
Sorry.
That's all it's about. We're just creating rapport, so they say, sure. Again, the emphasis is on the video. Let the video do the work. You do not do the selling. You create enough rapport to say, hey, you open to taking a look at something, or hey, if I sent you an invite, would you accept? Or that's all. You know, we sometimes we make more work out of this than it really needs to. You know, just like when Zoomer was saying, you know, wanting to be when you were 20, it's a feeling. And I want to feel like that. So my buying signals are wide open because that's what I want. You know, when I say, do you want more energy, focus, and concentration back to when you were much younger? Yes, yes, absolutely. It's not about you. It's not about the product or whatever. If you've got that relationship, they're on to buying at that point. And that's really all it's about. We make this much more. That's why I say some of those words, are you open? If I, would you? Those are just phrases that should be in everything that you're sending out. Do it with your kids, practice with your spouse or something. You'll find that you get a lot further in life if you just phrase things the correct way. I mean, that's what that guy, Michael Bernoff, does so well is, you know, he uses certain words at certain times. And that's really what, you know, I've been studying is if I say this, do I get the reaction I want? That's all I want to know.
He uses also imagine this a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he takes them to this person. And I think right now, I say, imagine being 20 years old again. And
Mm-hmm.
usually people were like,
it was a good time.
This man, I said, that.
Yeah, yeah.
That.
So
No, there is some magical words, and that's one of them, Zuma. Imagine this. Do you remember when? Okay, there's just some terms that are so good and give people the warm and fuzzies, you know, that you just, when you say them, they just let their guard down and they listen honestly instead of a person that's got a wall up in the air, you know. And it's like getting back to like this trainer I was saying, well, now I'm working on establishing a relationship with him, and it was easy to find a common bond, you know. I know he was a church guy. I know he's a sports guy. I know he had a kid go to college on his athletic scholarship. I know. So we've been bonding a little bit, okay, but in the meantime building a business. Well, it's the same thing, you know. When you're reacquainting yourself with someone that's in your phone, okay, or it's a Facebook, you know, TikTok, social media kind of person, the reason why we have to have a lot of videos out there and we have to be talking to a lot of people is so we give the person an opportunity to become our friend before we try and quick sell them prematurely. Okay, when we only got 3 or 4 people out there and the end of the month is coming, you want to kind of hit them over the head with a sledgehammer. But when you got 20 or 30 videos out there and you're just allowing Mother Nature to take her course, you let things happen the way they should. And I'm not saying you don't follow up and stuff. I'm just saying you let things happen more naturally and you don't come across like a hardcore salesperson. You give them a chance to like you. I mean, we know all of you personally, okay? A couple of you we haven't met physically yet, but we know you're nice people. There's no reason that anybody wouldn't like you unless you don't give them a chance to like you. That's the only exception, is if you deny them the opportunity to get to know you. And that's what April has been talking about. She gives them the chance to get to know her. Okay. And that's how it works. So April, you got anything else you're thinking of?
yeah, you know, it's funny as he's talking, the one last tidbit I'll give you is as you get into conversations with people, and ladies, just think about this, because a lot of you are like my age. What if somebody asks you, and my hot button, I get people ask me to play tennis a lot, and sometimes I really don't know the people, but the person that comes up and says, how's your granddaughter? Always gets my preference, always gets. I don't even know their name, but they're like, they remembered her. So that's the stuff you got to do. How's your dog? What's your dog? You know
how far, I was going to say, you know how much credibility and likability you have if it's not the grandkid, but the dog.
Yeah.
I mean, people will do anything for their dog, okay? And if you remembered their fur baby, they love you. They love you for that.
Okay, any other questions, or we don't want to go too long, but if you've got a script going on, or I know a few of you today, that's how I know when more stuff's going on, because you're not quite sure what you want to say. Just text it over. You know, Bobby or I'll take a look at it and just give you our ideas on, you know, if you find you got into a corner that you're not comfortable with, I'll tell. They're always just like our same objections years ago, time, money. They're all the same objections. Once you get them down, they don't change.
Oh, thanks.
Everybody good? We'll get this trimmed up and posted in the group if you want to share it with anyone else on your team. But everybody okay with doing it this way moving forward?
Yeah, this is
great. We feel better about it too. We just,
yeah,
you know,
like it.
I was confused. Yes, I was confused. I felt like, but yeah. It's
totally our fault. You know, I think sometimes we try to give you too much and we just need to bring it back down. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff we can do, but we need to get this down first to move forward.
You know, the biggest problem, and it isn't just you, okay? The entire nation in LifeVantage has overthinking it. This is meant to be simple. You say something exciting, you send them a video, you find out how long they need to watch it so you can talk again. It should take a few minutes. Some people are taking a few hours. It's just like, and then they think, I ain't got time for this crap. I mean, think about it. That's what they're thinking. Look at this person's wrestling with me for 40 bucks, for 50 bucks. And they all of a sudden they think, well, I don't have time to do this. That doesn't look like fun. You know, that's why we talk about, I mean, we love the beach and we're just going to tell people, hey, bring your friends around to have some fun at the beach. Okay. The rest will take care of itself. April does it with pickleball. Sometimes she just says, we're playing on a certain day. And I find out, well, that's because there's 8 other people playing and they're bringing food and liquor and whatever else. And we just do it. Okay. And so it's summertime, folks. Get out there amongst people. It really is more fun getting out there with real people than social media. Social media is good, and that gives us the opportunity to do business at any time, any day. But you give me a choice of being around real people. That's why we love the beach. It's like, I'm looking, okay, who's pulling up next to us? I know April's looking to see, do they got kids like our granddaughter's age? You know, maybe we can get a play date for next weekend with them, you know? Just like, we all have different things that we're looking at, but it's fun. So remind yourself, although we're all serious about the business, put a smile on your face and have fun with it. The more fun you have, the more money you make. It's always been the case. If you're not having fun, you're probably not making a dime and nobody's going to be drawn to you. If you're having fun, you're going to start making money and everybody's going to want a piece of that action. Everybody. It's fun sells, man. You can't fake it. Fun sells. So anyway, have a good night. For some of you in California, a good afternoon. But we'll keep this format moving forward and we'll get it posted for you, okay? Take care, everyone.